I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that's under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers who are driven by cowardly wokeness, who divide us by racializing every issue and stoking anti-white racism, who actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms that are enshrined in our Constitution, who are hostile to people of faith and spirituality, who demonize the police but protect criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans, who believe in open borders, who weaponize the national security state to go after their political opponents, and above all, who are dragging us ever closer to nuclear war. Now, I believe in a government that's of the people, by the people, and for the people. Unfortunately, today's Democratic Party does not. Instead, it stands for a government that is of, by, and for the powerful elite.
Well, I wanted to start today's broadcast off with those very powerful words by Tulsi Gabbard, a former Democrat congressional leader and former presidential candidate. In that clip, she warns her prior party, the Democrat Party, that the Democrats are no longer the party that they used to be. Instead, they are a party, in her own words, that is all about an elite cabal of warmongers. They are very hostile to religion. They are very racist and anti-white. They are very adamant about demonizing our police force. They have weaponized our security state. Organizations like our FBI, DOJ, and IRS. In fact, she has a very powerful message to many Democrats out there stating that now is the time to step away from that party. And personally, I have been warning about the Democrats and how they have really gone astray from their core principles and how today they have become more of a socialist Communist Party than anything else. And Tulsi Gabbard has now exposed that. But that said, many people are left with the lingering thought in their mind, why is Tulsi doing this now? What drove her to drop this bombshell about the Democratic Party at this time? And I believe I've got some answers for you, some of which she left on her website, and others of which she dropped a hidden bombshell, shall I say, on Joe Rogan's show that I think really answers a lot of it. But let's go first to her website and get the real reasons why she is leaving the Democratic Party in her own words. And here it is. And she published this October 11th, so just a couple of days ago. And she states, and why am I leaving the Democratic Party? And in this report, she gives an entire list of reasons. So I'm going to briefly kind of go through those. The first one here is the pro-war Democratic Party has led us to the brink of nuclear war. The party's led by warmongers who are firmly in the grips of the military-industrial complex and don't know or care about the cost of war or who pays the price. Biden and the Democratic Party elite have pushed us to the precipice of nuclear war, risking starting World War III and destroying the world as we know it. And I'm in 100% in agreement here because the Biden administration, rather than attempting to go to peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, instead, he has gone full force pushing war by not only supplying military supplies, but funding the Ukrainian war. I believe now is the time to talk peace than ever before. The second thing that she warns about here is today's Democratic Party has rejected the rule of law. They have weaponized the security state and federal law enforcement for their own partisan political ambitions, and they 100% have. By the way, I have been exposing this in detail on restrictedrepublic.com. So if you're not on there, I really want to encourage you to check it out. Please subscribe right now. And I've got an amazing special. You can get the entire first year. In fact, I'll give you every year for as long as you have it for $50 per year. Use the coupon code forever50. But we have really dived in to how bad there has been a takeover of departments like the FBI, the DOJ, the IRS, and many within the Biden administration. So if you really want the full truth of what's going on there and what Tulsi Gabbard is talking about regarding this takeover, then check it out there on restrictedrepublic.com. Great place to get that information. But that's not all that she warns of. She also warns of more going on with the Democrat Party. And here it is here. And she says, today's Democrat Party does not believe in our constitutional protected right of free speech. Fostering diversity of thought and freedom of expression is the foundation, the very foundation of flourishing democracy. And the Democrat parties today do not agree. They are led by fanatical ideologies who pose a threat to our democracy because they don't believe in freedom of speech or thought or religion, and they try to censor speech that they don't like by labeling it hate, violence, or misinformation. And this is one of the biggest things that the Democrat Party has always been about. And by the way, just another reason why I created restrictedrepublic.com. But this has been the cliche lately of the Democrat Party. This is not someone who is about freedom of religion and freedom of speech. This is now a party that is all about censoring and containing any information that they don't like under the false labels of misinformation and hate speech. And it just continues to get worse within the Democrat Party. Anyone in the Democrat Party should see this. I really am just jaw-dropped that there are even any Democrats left, seeing that they have become an entirely different party than they were in the past. But she goes on to explain more here. She says, today's Democrat Party does not believe in constitutional protected rights to freedom of religion. They no longer do. Instead, they are very hostile. If you have certain religious beliefs, you're not allowed to have those beliefs. In fact, many Democrats are now attempting to make laws against certain religious beliefs. She goes on, the Democrat Party does not believe in our constitutional right to bear arms. She also expands, the Democrat Party has become the big brother undermining our civil liberties. The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution is supposed to ensure the right of the American people to be secure in their people, in their houses, with their papers, their effects, their belongings, and we're not supposed to have these unreasonable searches and seizures. Yet, the FBI and the DOJ are doing the opposite of that. They're going in without warrants, without rights, and invading people's homes in the name of, well, the January 6th event. And she is just bringing a light to that. She also says they radicalize everything and blatantly foment anti-white racism. She goes, they are very anti-woman, and they undermine the family. So these are the main reasons that she gives in that report for dropping the Democrat Party. But what I want to bring attention to is something that I also heard her say on Joe Rogan's podcast that I think really highlights, well, part of the reason why I think she's really upset with the Democrat Party. Take a listen.
I think that the Democratic Party leaders, people like Hillary Clinton, people who've been in charge for a very long time, foment this kind of culture of fear and like, hey, if you go against us, like, you're dead. You're on the list.
I think she makes a very powerful point here. If you're not with the Democrat Party, people like, and she gives an example, Hillary Clinton, right? Then you're dead. Dead. Not my words, hers. Not only dead, but on a list. Kind of feels that way. It seems as if I'm on a crap list, right? We have all my videos here downgraded on YouTube. And by the way, please make sure you've got that notification bell checked. Otherwise, you're never going to see a report from me. That's why I have 500,000 subscribers and not a lot of clicks, because they're not sending my information out. I have to rely on you guys to do that. And I ask you, please do that and get to rumble.com. I am on Rumble under Restricted Republic. Please follow me there. But the truth of the matter is you get put on the list. And she's tired of the Democrat Party doing that to their political opposition. So I think this is just another reason why she left the Democrat Party, and maybe even some of the main reasons. If you look at the Clintons alone, right? I used to have Larry Nichols, unfortunately, before he passed away, and my heart and prayers went to his family years ago when he passed. But I used to have him here on the channel, and he would talk about the Clinton corruption here on the channel all the time when it was allowed, right? But the thing of the matter is, there's so many questionable things that have happened around the Clintons. James McDougal being one. He had a heart attack, right? Then we have Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, murdered. Vince Foster, we don't have to go there. There's lots of talk between him and Hillary Clinton, but he got shot and killed. Then we have Ron Brown, impact of a plane crash, actually a couple of plane crashes. Victor Reiser, right? Also died of a plane crash. All these people were surrounded the Clintons, right? Paul Tully, a DNC political director, found dead in his room. And I'm referencing my notes here. Ed Wiley died the same day as his wife. Jerry Parks, right? Gunned down in his car. You know, the list goes on. James Bunch died of a gunshot. James Wilson found dead of hanging. Bill Shelton. We could also go Kathy Ferguson. All of these weird deaths, strange death, wrong deaths, suicide, killings, died jumping out of a window. Gandhi Bond, Florence Martin, and the list goes on. Susanna Coleman. That's just a little piece of what surrounds the Clintons. And I'm not saying, and I don't think Tulsi Gabbard is saying, if you're dead, you know, who knows what she meant. But either way, there's a lot of questions surrounding what's going on with the Clintons. But I think what Tulsi Gabbard is trying to say here is there's a lot of threats coming from leaders within the Democrat Party. If you don't toe the party line, if you don't do what we say, then we're going to stick social media after you. We're going to stick the likes of Google and the mainstream media at you. We are then going to go after you full force with the courts, just like they've done with the January 6 people, just like they're doing with Donald Trump. I believe right now Donald Trump is entangled, I think, in 6 different investigations. That's unheard of, not to mention Alex Jones' $1 billion lawsuit by Sandy Hook. I mean, wait a minute. Do you know that's the highest anyone has ever paid for a defamation lawsuit in the entire world? Yeah, never. In fact, it's $700 million over the normal. Who's to say this is not, this is absolutely a message that they're trying to send? Anyhow, I love all of you. I know this is a lot that's going on, but I think we need to start waking up the Democrats like Tulsi Gabbard has. Tulsi Gabbard says, look, my party has gone astray. I used to love the party, and now we need to start fixing things in our country, and that's what we absolutely need to focus on. With that, again, just as a reminder, get to restrictedrepublic.com. I'm going to give it to you for $50 forever, and just use that coupon code forever50 when signing up for that annual rate there. And we are going to be doing a live stream this Saturday, Justice Knight and myself, this Saturday morning, 10 and 11 Arizona time, which I think is Mountain Standard Time at this time. But get to restrictedrepublic.com. I've got so much information that you absolutely need to see. We post exclusive video content that we're not putting anywhere else, but check it out on restrictedrepublic.com. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven signing out.